So to put this thing with Professor Gates to arrest, put a bow on it. Hey, welcome into the second set of the J. Rod Show. And of course, you can reach the show at the JRodShowAlive.com, JRodShowAlive.com. And now you can reach both of us. Well, welcome, sir. The hell is that? Okay. Well, welcome, sir. Like I was saying.
Yo, what's up, Jay? How you doing, yo?
Well, I'm glad you could join us.
Well, you know, man, it's one of those situations, yo, where I was a little late. But I listened to the show, yo, and I'm going to tell you, I don't agree with everything you were saying, but we'll talk about that on a different day.
Well, why can't we talk about it now?
Well, because, yo, you don't have a whole lot of time, and we got a lot of things to talk about. So, yo, we'll do it next show. How about that, yo?
You know what? Fair enough. Let's do it next show. All right? So let's go ahead and put a bow on this thing with Professor Gates. Glad you can join us, Book. Listen, bottom line is, folks, is that, you know, I still say that there's fault on both sides of this argument. I think that the professor was wrong to a certain degree, and I think that the police officer was wrong as well. That's just my opinion. I'm sorry. Because once again, according to the police report, if you want to believe the police report, it says that when the officer asked Professor Gates to step out the house, Professor Gates, first thing that came out of his mouth was, why are you doing this? Because I'm a black man. I mean, you know, to me, that comment was unnecessary. It may be true, but it's unnecessary. Listen, what people are not thinking about and what people are not talking about is that I don't think it was bad that the officer came out to the house. I think that what we need to be looking at is why were the police called in the first place? Because a person saw two African-American men, which they perceived as breaking into the house. Now, listen, first of all, people are saying, well, Professor Gates is only 5'6", 5'7", he's walking with a cane, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't look like a, you know, come on, what could this guy do? I tell you what, why don't you ask the family of the African-American guard who was shot down and murdered at the Holocaust Museum earlier this year? Ask his people about that. Because this man was an 80-something-year-old man who the security guard was helping into the building, and the guy pulled out a gun. A 2-year-old can kill you, so I'm not buying that argument. The bottom line is that I still think that there were issues on both sides of the fence. And, you know, listen, folks, let's just call a spade a spade. Bottom line is I think that we all are racist, and that's a hard word to use. So if you think of another word, please tell me. But I think we all have some type of prejudice against other people, other cultures. I think we do. You know, listen, some of my best friends are white. But do I hang around a lot of white people? Yes, not as much as I hang around African Americans. And that's just the way it is. You can look at our communities, you can look at our schools, you can look at our businesses, you can look at where we live. Bottom line is people like being around folks that they are accustomed to and who look like them. That's just a fact. Now, the president is trying to walk this thing back a little bit. He's trying to put some water on the flames because it's starting to get out of hand. Now, do I have a problem with the fact that he responded to it? No. He was asked a question. He answered the question. No problem with that. He probably shouldn't have used the word stupid or stupidly, to quote the president, but I have no problems with that. And for those of you all who are out there saying, well, you know, the president shouldn't have responded to this, he should stay out the weeds, you know. Well, wait a minute. Didn't this happen within the borders of the continental United States? And isn't he the president of the United States? Get out of here with that. I'm not going to, no. I've always wondered in the past why presidents don't respond more to local events. They act like things are not happening at all. And that's why I was pissed off at him when he didn't respond to the Michael Jackson death as quickly as I would have liked. But the bottom line is I have no problem with it. Now, is no problem with him responding to this situation. Now, will this go away? Well, as long as you have people out there like Rush Limbaugh fanning the flames, you know, that guy. For those of you all who know me, who has listened to this show, no, I cannot stand Rush Limbaugh. I think he is a waste of skin. I think he is horrible. This guy is questioning the president's citizenship. And here's a fat clown who I call a draft dodger. This guy played hurt so he wouldn't have to go to war. So who is he to say that someone's not an American when this clown wouldn't even fight for his country? Oh, I'm not even going to say what I'm thinking here, which is a perfect segue into this Major Cook, this Army reservist major who has decided to take the federal government to court because he feels that the president of the United States is not an American citizen, okay? And that since he's not an American citizen, therefore he's not qualified to be POTUS, therefore he's not qualified to be commander-in-chief. And so therefore, since he's not eligible to be the commander-in-chief, that means that he has no authority to tell him to go to war. This guy should be locked up for treason. This guy should be thrown in prison. And there he is, standing with his whacked out crazy attorney, right? Saying these things with a straight face, with the uniform on. For those of y'all who may be old enough and remember the show Branded, remember in the beginning where they ripped off Chuck Connor's uniforms and his stripes and threw him out the fort? That's what they should do to this clown, but they should throw him in jail. He's a coward. He don't want to go to war, so now he wants to try to figure out a way to get out of it. And I think one of the reporters asked him a question saying, hey, listen, we think that this is a stunt. Our people think that this is a stunt because you just don't want to go to war. And he looks down to his shoulders. Well, listen, I've been in combat. Okay, so what? That doesn't necessarily mean you're not a punk or a coward. You know what? And I can say this. I served 14 years in the military. This guy's a coward. He's a punk and he's a coward. Now, let me tell you something. But I think the most important thing, and the thing that I really think we need to be paying attention to, is the fact that you have all these crazy people in this country. You know, the United States of America, the home of the free and the brave. But apparently, it's also the home of the retarded. These people are saying that the president is not a citizen, that we need to see his birth certificate. I don't remember hearing that when George Bush ran for the presidency. I don't remember hearing this ever. But because of the fact that we have an African-American president now, I said in the first set that I do not play the race card unnecessarily because I think it's bogus. But this, my friends, is nothing but racism at the highest level. It is. You know, I watched my favorite morning show, Morning Joe, and they were saying, you know, this is a ridiculous thing, but they don't think race has anything to do with it. Okay, here's where white people don't understand or don't want to understand what's going on. Because now I am going to play the race card because once again, this is a racial issue. This crazy lady who stood up in that rally and held her birth certificate up, and then she says, you know, I want my country back. You want your country back. I wonder if you ever put on the country's uniform and fought for this country. I wonder when you go to Iraq and put your life on the line for your country. And then when she made the comment, did you hear the people in the background? The one guy, yeah. These people are retarded. They're ridiculous. These are people who are racist, and they can't believe that, you know, they are in a country where the majority of the country has voted an African American into the White House. And it's hard for them to swallow. Hard. I've said this once. I'll say it again.
Yo, we've come a long way, but we still got a long way to go, yo. There are people out there, man, just can't accept the fact that we have a black president.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, but listen, we will never get rid of racism. Never. I don't care if the next 6 presidents are African American. We will never get rid of racism. It'll never happen. Never. Period. Because there are people in this world who do not like me because of the color of my skin. Period. And there are people in the world who don't like Hillary Clinton because of the color of her skin. That's just the way this is, folks. There are wackos on both sides of the fence. There are black racists and there are white racists. It's ridiculous. Whew. All right, let me calm down.
Yeah, calm down, yo, before you have a heart attack, yo.
Yeah, you're right. Let me calm down. And let's have some fun. Third set, we'll talk about Vince Young and those pictures. Third and final set of the TJRS show coming up.
Damn, VY, what the hell were you thinking of, yo?